next bit of news we want to talk to you about is a new product called CION. Oh, there we are. So CION is an English word meaning definition of illustrious parents, and every time we name a product, it's a very painful experience. But this one was seemed to make a lot of sense. It really leverages the best of what AJA has to offer. This is years and years in the making for us. It's almost a 5-year effort from trying to convince the CEO to do it to delivering it here at NAB. We're extremely passionate about this product. It has everything that we are capable of inside of it. We feel it's incredibly unique in the marketplace. and delivers features that we think customers are going to want. Very, very proud of it. So thank you for being here today for help us launch it. Of course, it all starts with the sensor. It's a 4K APS-C size sensor. It's a CMOS-based sensor. It is global shutter. The camera delivers 12 stops of dynamic range. Very, very nice. Beautiful images. In fact, if you stop by our booth, we have it hooked up to several, we have many of them hooked up to 4K monitors. You can see for yourself, just absolutely beautiful. In front of that sensor is a combined filter that has an IR cut, which improves color accuracy, and an optical low-pass filter, which removes moire effects. So as we'll talk, I hope you'll see we put so much care into creating this product. It's not just a sensor with a recorder mashed on the back. It's really a very integrated, thoughtful design. Behind the sensor is a back focus adjustment, a mechanical back focus adjustment, which is critical for sharp images. You put a lens on, you need to be able to dial it in that last bit. We provide that to our customers. It is a PL lens mount, which is the standard for professional glass. When you're working in 4K, you really need the best glass. The image demands it. And PL is, as you know, the industry standard. There are tons of new PL lenses announced here. You can find them any rental facility around the world, every corner of the globe. It really is the finest glass available. CION is based around the ProRes workflow, as you saw in the video, and we really pioneered that with the IO HD and then the Key Pro product line at Apple. CION, again, supports the full range of ProRes, everything that AJA is capable of. ProRes 444 to ProRes Proxy. We can even record up to 60 frame per second 4K as ProRes 422, right to our pack media, which is the same as the Key Pro Quad uses. Proven, robust media. As you saw, we also have a RAW workflow. So there's a Thunderbolt port where we can take 4K 30 frames per second out, the same workflow that we have on our Key Pro Quad. And then we have 4 3G SDIs. They're capable of delivering 4K 120 frames per second output. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The camera supports 4K, and that word is bandied about. And actually, that's 4K. 4096 by 2160 is 4K. 3840 is Ultra HD. We support that, as well as 2K and HD as well. So very, very flexible camera. It's weird to say the word camera out loud, isn't it? For 4 years. It's oversampled from the full 4K sensor, the 2K and the HD signal. What does that mean? Absolutely beautiful images. We don't do a crop on the sensor, thereby getting less resolution, less of what the sensor has to offer. Garbage in, garbage out. So we take full 4K sensor, put it through one of our scaling engines, which are absolutely beautiful. So beautiful images, and one of the most important things is you get the retention of the lens focal length. So if you put a 50 on this and you switch to 2K, it's still going to be a 50. It's going to be a 50 at HD, it's going to be a 50 at 4K. That's really important. It's a camera. Camera should look like a camera. Camera should not look like anything else, and then you have to go buy a bunch of stuff to make it fit like a camera. There's 100 years of history in putting cameras on your shoulder, and there's a reason for that. It's because that's the way shooters like to work. So we said, hey, maybe we'll just make it work on your shoulder. It's a magnesium body. It's incredibly strong and amazingly lightweight. The first time I was given one of the production body panels, it just feels like nothing in your hand, and then you try to bend it, you can't. It's pretty amazing. Out of the box, the way you see it there with the handle and everything, that camera is just over 6 pounds. That's amazing for a camera of this quality, any camera. Everything is built with the finest materials, high-grade aluminum, accessories, Every mount point is made of steel. We want this to be a real tool. It's a tank. John Thorne, who's the designer of this camera, and I both have camera backgrounds. That's where we come from. We were both assistant cameramen on features. And we know, unfortunately, the abuse that production equipment takes. We would never do that. But something that calls itself a professional tool has to be built to take that kind of punishment. And CION certainly is. We also built in some more rich features, like the handle is made of hardwood. We just want it to feel good in your hand. You're going to be holding this a lot. This is almost one of the most important features. It's got a shoulder pad. Put it on your shoulder. It's not just a shoulder pad, but it's contoured, so it's not flat on the bottom. It's actually contoured, the shape, same shape as your shoulder, made of very rich suede. Very important feature. It's actually removable too, so you can pull that off if you want to put one made of leather or something, I don't know. Everything is where it should be on the CION. And I will march through every connector while you're here. So there's the 4 3G SDIs, and they're configurable just like our KeyPro Quad to do 4K or HD or RAW. There's an SDI monitor output that's always on. So using AJA's scaling engines, there's always on. You're shooting in 4K, you're always getting HD out of that port. There's a LITC timecode input. There's a reference video input. The HDMI on the back is 2.0B to feed high frame rate up to 60p, 4K to compatible HDMI monitors. And there's a USB that will gain functionality over time. Up front, again, everything where it should be. There's 2 XLR audio inputs that are mic line and phantom powered. There's also another always-on SDI monitor output that has overlays on it, because where are viewfinders and monitors? Towards the front. Start-stop commands are issued over LANC, which is industry standard protocol. If you rotate it to the top of the camera from that point, we have a P-tap power connector right in the front. Most viewfinders and monitors obviously need power, so why not provide it right up front? Why make the user run cables or new batteries? There's an HD HDMI up front as well, and another LANC connector. So everything right up front where it should be, everything is on the side where it should be, everything is in the back where it should be. You'll also notice everything is open. There's not one proprietary connector or mount point anywhere on this camera. Underneath the plate on the back is a standard 2-pin power port, so you could plug in Anton Bauer battery plates or IDX or a world of batteries. Again, nothing proprietary. There's the LAN connector, which I'll talk more about in a minute. Standard 12-volt, 4-pin power, and the Thunderbolt connector for the raw workflow. On the operator side of the camera, again, where it should be. Not everything is a huge shoot with assistants and such. Sometimes it's one guy out there. So where are the controls? Should be on the operator side. There's a built-in confidence monitor. Also, a very beautiful UI. That I just don't want to spend any time on. Just beautiful UI. So there's very simple button selections, very flat menu, and a very robust rotary dial that you select with as well. Choose what you want, turn the dial, hit, and go. There's an on-screen menu as well on the confidence monitor. So the LAN connector is very unique on a camera, very unique on a production camera. It allows you to feed from the CION's embedded web server the full control UI to any web browser on any platform. It also does a real-time confidence monitor preview streaming from the camera to the web browser. So on any web browser anywhere, over the LAN, you can see what that camera is shooting. That's powerful. It's a DIT's dream. We have features that we introduced in Key Pro, like gang recording and controlling multiple units from one UI. That's built into CION. So you can trigger multiple cameras just over the LAN for start and stop and configure them and see what they're shooting just in a web browser. It's remarkable. It's an absolutely open design. There are no proprietary connectors anywhere, as I said before. And that is down to the mounting points. Rosettes are standard M6 rosettes, again made of steel. The cheese plates on the top and bottom are not just interchangeable in case they get damaged, but they use standard threads, industry standard threads. So there's nothing proprietary going on, no proprietary tripod plates or anything. All the other mounting points are based on 15mm rods, normal stuff. The top handle, the adapters, viewfinder bracket. I'll show you some of the accessories in a moment. That enables you to use any viewfinder, any monitor, because it's open. It's all standard power, standard connectivity, standard mounting, standard video, standard audio. So the accessories that it ships with are that aluminum and wood handle with a 15mm rod. The Lank start-stop, that's actually has a 15mm hole in it, so it slides on in front of the handle or on any 15mm rod. Gives you start-stop and also has a tally light on it. And 12-volt power supply, and we also ship with the battery plate as well on the back to give you a mounting point for Anton Bauer plates and others. Although it's completely open, we did provide a set of accessories, like a viewfinder and monitor bracket, again, 15mm rods, allows you to easily mount viewfinders or small electronic, small monitors. There's a rosette to rods adapter. There's a top rods mount. All these are made of that high-grade aluminum again. Bottom rods mount and a rear rods mount. And we just tried to even put a lot of care and thought into the accessories. There's rubber pads where metal and metal are meeting, etc. Just trying to build the best thing we're capable of. And because it uses the same media as the Key Pro Quad, it's a proven workflow. So we have media in 256 and 512 gigabyte capacities. This is stuff that's been proven in the field now for years. And the pack dock, where you pull the media out, plug it in, into any Mac or PC that has Thunderbolt to USB 3, transfer your beautiful ProRes files over. So we have the 120 frames per second workflow. This is actually running in our booth, and it's actually been field tested by some broadcasters that unfortunately we can't talk about yet. But if you plug a CION into our Corvid Ultra with our TrueZoom software, you can live record 120 frames per second 4K and do HD regions of interest on them, get beautiful 4K slow-mo in real time. It's kind of a mind blower. We've been told by some very high-level broadcasters, if you only could do this, it would be the holy grail. All right, just give us a couple of months. So because of the connectivity, because of the workflow, because of the accessories, the CION is really the nexus point of production. You can drive monitors, you can drive it in so many different ways. Just an elegant, easy solution that I think is really going to turn a lot of heads. And because it's based on ProRes, it's the ProRes workflow. It works with Final Cut Pro 10, works with Creative Cloud, Avid, Autodesk, Grass Valley products, our own products, the world of ProRes compatible solutions that are out there which grow every day. These files are immediately compatible with. The CION? What? Oh wait, let me, there's supposed to be a 0 on there, hold on. So it's just under $9,000, and that ships with the top handle, power supply, accessories I talked about. So out of the box, for $9 grand, you have arguably one of the most sophisticated cameras in the marketplace. It is shipping very soon, summer 2014. CION is real. All the ones you will see are production units. They do what they say they're doing. If you come to our stand, the 120 frame raw is working. ProRes is working. It's all working. It's real, and it's coming soon. The reason we decided to introduce it here at NAB and not stick to what we were talking about last year about only announcing products that are ready to ship is because we really want to work out in the open with the broadest range of partners that we can to support CION at launch. And we also want to set up a new distribution channel, new reseller channel, to be able to maximize the sales efforts behind CION. That's really hard to do when you can't talk about it. There was a high level of security on this for many years. And that is CION. We are calling it the science of the beautiful. We do have 2 units up here if you want to come take a look. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.